Hi, this is Di, the bass playing mom, and today we're going to talk about playing bass while experiencing medical conditions. I have numerous medical conditions and health problems I deal with on a daily basis, and yet I still manage to play bass. So I wanted you to know what it takes and what my accommodations are that make it so that I can continue to play bass for my church and take care of my health. If you had more questions about what was going on with my health, I can go link in the description to my vlog channel and I talk about that more there. I know that a number of you have health concerns as well and you want to be able to keep playing, and so I thought that this video might be helpful to think outside of the box about how you can continue to enjoy playing an instrument while experiencing illnesses and medical conditions. My first rule is play the lightest instrument possible. Carrying around a great big full-scale bass would be very, very hard for me. I've had surgery on the back of my neck a couple times and it just doesn't lift things like it used to. So I always play a short scale, which is a bass that is shorter and more guitar-sized than a regular bass. And that has helped me a lot to have a lighter piece of equipment to deal with. It's really important that you let your band leader know that you are struggling with health problems. That was one of the first conversations I had with my band leader before she was my band leader, so she knew going into the job that I would require certain accommodations, and so I really appreciate her help in dealing with the schedule and whether I'm feeling at my best at different gigs. In fact, she is so kind. When my stomach aches started, they were really, really bad and I could barely get around, but I was scheduled to play, and she actually even called me and said, "Can I get a substitute for you so that you don't have to play today?" It was so kind and it made a big difference, so I really appreciate it. And then when someone else needed a sub, I jumped in for them. It all works out in the end. Blocking out dates. One of the things we're able to do on Planning Center Online, which is the software we use for scheduling at my church for all of the musicians in production. Using Planning Center, you can block out dates. So if I know I have a medical procedure, or if I have a surgery coming up, if I'm not going to be feeling well, I go ahead and block out those dates and mark them that I'm not available. That way she's not asking me and I'm declining over and over again. Another thing that's helped me a lot is varying whether I am standing or sitting. If I'm having a rough day, I will make sure that I bring a stool out and I'll let them know that I just need that for rehearsal. In our setting, our rehearsals usually last an hour to an hour and a half, but our actual performance lasts about 20 minutes. On bad days, I just bring a stool out and then I'm not standing for an hour, hour and a half. I'm on a stool for an hour, hour and a half. And then when the performance time comes, I'll just push the stool behind me. It's there to catch me if I start to feel crummy, but I can go ahead and try to stand up and see if I can make it through the set. One thing I do is I make sure that I have an escape plan. So wherever I'm playing, I just make sure that I know the route I would take if I was too sick to finish the set. I know that that sounds kind of grim, but you know, if you're dealing with nausea, you might want to have a plan on where you're going to throw up, not in front of everybody or in your mask. I usually have a plan of how I would get off the stage quickly, go take care of what I need to, and get back on and finish the set. It sounds like a strange thing to have thought out, but I have on many occasions figured out exactly what my exit plan would be. I've never had to use it, thank goodness. One thing that really helps me is I get help loading in and loading out. I store my gear upstairs in my house, and that can make it rough for me to get it back down the stairs. I have problems with understanding where my feet and hands are sometimes, and I also have trouble heavy objects. So that combination makes it so that most of the time, probably 90% of the time, I ask my husband to carry it down the stairs for me. So he'll carry the gear down the stairs and put it in the trunk of the car. And then he'll do the same for me when I get home. Take it out of the trunk and put it back upstairs. One thing I do every time I set up is I do sit on the floor. I have a bunch of pedals that I use and I have cords that I have to run. I have to plug in the DI. I've got to plug into electrical power. I need to get my ears set up. I need to plug into the bass. And I just set myself on the floor and set that all up from a seated position. I don't squat or bend down to try to do that. I just sit right on the floor and get everything set up. The thing that I've learned to do at home is to practice on the good days. I might have a rehearsal on a Tuesday and be playing on Sunday, but I might have 3 bad days in there. So I'll rehearse the 2 good days. So just make sure that when you have the chance to rehearse or practice the set, you don't skip it. Don't skip practicing on days you feel good. Make sure that if you're feeling good, you go ahead and practice on that day. I play for adults on Sundays, but on Wednesdays, I often play for middle schoolers. And they do a lot of praise music, which is that more rambunctious kind of dance style music. We want to get the crowd going. And so often there's songs, I literally had a song that said, 1, 2, 3, jump this week. And so for me, to keep my energy up and keep from injuring myself, I will fake the jumps, kind of bounce on my tiptoes and not really jump. I don't know where I'm going to land or if I'm going to fall with my bass, which is not an option. So I do fake jumping quite a bit. Just a little bit of bounce, and then I can go back to the set, and just encourages the kids to participate without me hurting myself. Now, following surgery, I always make sure that I talk to the doctor about getting a handicap parking permit, just until I heal up. Often, I return to playing bass well before I am healed up. That is usually the first thing that comes back. That's something I can sit on a stool after surgery. I can make sure I play short sets. I can take care of myself, but I can't make sure my car is parked close enough. And so I do try to get that permit and make sure that if I need to go back and forth to my car, it's something that I can easily walk. When I'm not recovering from surgery, I just make sure that I have my parking space, that I always park close. Yeah, you want your volunteers to park further out to leave room for visitors, but I wouldn't be able to play at all if I parked out. So I just park close by. Also, for those of you who have problems with your ears, remember to take care of them. If you don't have problems with your ears, please take care of your ears so that they work for you. I highly suggest either wearing musician's earplugs, or if you're on in-ear monitors, turning it down as low as you can have it and still play. In fact, I have noticed that when my monitor is turned down, I actually pluck the strings harder. Well, it's not really plucking on bass, but I play harder. And so I try to keep it as low as I can and still hear what I'm doing. That means that after a rehearsal, I'll maybe have cranked it up a little bit, but when I get back, I turn it way down in the morning. I'm just going to protect my ears as much as I can. If you start hearing ringing in your ears and things like that after playing, make sure you turn it way down. You know, the beautiful thing about in-ear monitors is you're able to block out the outside noise, and so make sure you do that and protect your ears. If you're on a wedge, do get those musician's earplugs. You'll still be able to hear the kick, but it's going to block out some of the cymbal wash and some of the high-end like electric guitar so that you can protect your ears, which is super important. Got to take care of those. Also, I have chronic migraines, so making sure that I don't have loud noises pounding in my ears is really critical to make sure that I don't trigger a migraine. Now, several times throughout the years, our band directors have decided that we were going to go to not reading music, to just memorizing the songs. Of course, we have a catalog of 100 songs we play a year, so when you're playing that many different songs, it's really hard to memorize. And then add a little bit of a organic brain injury like I have, and it can be really difficult to memorize the set. So I do usually have music in front of me, even if they're encouraging us not to. And I have at times gone down to just a cheat sheet. I will write out the chord progressions of the entire set of music and put it down on the floor in front of me. So I don't even need a music stand. I can just look down, see the chords, and keep going. Just having that little reminder can keep me from losing my place, which is really difficult because of my brain injury. And so that is one allowance that they have made for me, is that I can usually get away with a sheet of paper. When we were on wedge monitors, I just taped it right to the front of the wedge so you could not see it from the audience. It looked like I was standing there with nothing. But in fact, I had the chords on the wedge. I used to carry a roll of masking tape around with me everywhere I went so I could do it. But it really helps. So, you know, those little cues, if you need them because of a brain injury, just make sure that you have them. A bottle of water. Lately, that has been the main accommodation I've needed, and my music director has noticed and she is on it. So there's always water available. My medication makes me thirsty all the time and I can start to get lightheaded. I asked for that bottle of water. Usually it's the singers who need a bottle of water, but I need it on the back line, and she's gotten better about getting me a bottle of water every time. It's kind of my favorite. And I also keep some snacks in my purse. Sometimes we'll have a performance or a rehearsal that runs right into the time to take my medication. So having a water and a snack so I can take my medication is really important. And finally, well, I guess there's two. Try to get enough sleep. I'm not going to admit how many sermons I've fallen asleep in because I didn't have enough sleep the night before. And I hear that this is a problem for people who don't have a brain injury or a medical condition. So do try and get enough sleep so that when you get there, you're refreshed and ready to go. To go along with that, I try to get ready the night before. I'll lay out my outfit. A lot of times I'll straighten my hair. I will do as many of the things and have them all ready so that when I get up in the morning, I don't have to make decisions. I just have to get up and go. That lets me sleep a little bit longer and it makes it a little easier for me to get out the door. That's a hint that would help anybody, wouldn't it? Let me know, what accommodations have you made because of your medical condition so that you can continue to enjoy playing a musical instrument in a shared environment. I think it's really important for our health that we have hobbies that we can look forward to, and if there's a way that we can make them easy on ourselves, we've got to do that. That's very important. So I'm very fortunate to be on a team that's accommodated my special needs, and it's made it so that I can keep at this. Even though I can't work an 8-hour day anymore, I can certainly spend 20 minutes playing and then go sit down. Well, if you want to see more videos about the gear I use, click right here, or click this video down below that YouTube picked out just for you.